Reuters is reporting that North Korea successfully tested a hydrogen bomb. Maybe. So they say. So let me give you the details, and then you can make up your own mind here. They say, quote, North Korea said it successfully tested a miniaturized hydrogen nuclear device on Wednesday, claiming a significant advance in their strike capability and setting off alarm bells in Japan and South Korea. The announcement on North Korean state TV followed detection of a 5.1 magnitude earthquake near its known nuclear test site earlier. Now, we already knew that they had atomic weapons, but this is a thermonuclear weapon, which is a step up. And also, they're claiming more long-range capability now, which is something that they didn't have before, and we kind of knew that they didn't have before, and now it's up in the air. They say they have it, but we're still not 100% sold on it. When I say we, I mean U.S. intelligence officials and our allies and their various intelligence agencies as well. So even Russia and China, who are probably North Korea's biggest allies, they came out and said, no, we condemn this. This is not okay. And they actually condemned it in strong terms, too, which was fairly surprising. But it gets tricky as to whether or not they actually have it, or they're just saying they have it, and they're doing political posturing. So they continue here, quote, some analysts question whether Wednesday's test was indeed of a hydrogen device. Nuclear expert Melissa Hannum said North Korea has made claims about its nuclear and missile programs in the past that simply have not held up to investigation. The device had a yield of about 6 kilotons, roughly the same size as their last test, which was equivalent to 6 to 7 kilotons of TNT. Given the scale, it is hard to believe this is a real hydrogen bomb. Now, another expert weighed in and said, they could have tested some middle stage kind of device between an A-bomb and an H-bomb, but unless they come up with any clear evidence, it is difficult to trust their claim. Now, also, here's another really important piece of evidence. There's been no radiation that has been detected from the test at Japanese monitoring posts, and they say that if indeed there was radiation, they would be able to pick up on it. So it's kind of up in the air at the moment. I mean, it did register that something happened there. Exactly what kind of test and exactly what they have, big question mark. Either way, it's a scary thing to think about, though. So I remain agnostic on the issue. I'm not totally convinced yet, but it's certainly possible that they created an H-bomb here. But this place is absolutely mental, guys. There's no other way to put it. I mean, we're talking about what is effectively a hostage crisis for an entire country. And there's deep propaganda and brainwashing that happens here to the point where they deify the dear leader and pretend like Kim Jong-un is a demigod, just like they did with Kim Jong-il before him and just like they did with Kim Il-sung before him, where they make it seem like, you literally cannot question the Great One, because if you do, that's like questioning God. And then what do? They have their state thugs come in and rough you up or literally take you to hard labor camps. I mean, we had a UN report, I believe it was, or perhaps it was Amnesty International report. They came out about a year and a half ago or so, where they said that quite literally we have Nazi-like conditions at these different camps, where they have people eating rats to survive, and they have aerial satellite pictures of what these camps look like. And a large percentage of the country is starving anyway because they can't feed their people. They're incredibly isolated in every sense of the term when it comes to economics and otherwise. And it's just like watching the existence of a flat-out primitive country from a previous age. And this isn't to blame your average North Korean. I mean, it's like they were born in a prison. What are they going to do? And then you have nonstop just coming out of their government these ideas that, here's one of the things they say, just to show you how crazy they are. Kim Jong-un has never defecated in his life. Your leader is so great and so pure that he's never taken a shit. And, I think was it CNN or there was some investigative report on North Korea where somebody made a great point. They said, at this point, is there really any difference? You can't even tell if people really believe all the propaganda or if they're all just massively scared and they're playing the game of being super pro-regime and pretending Kim Jong-un is a god in order to not be killed. It might be some mix of the two, but, when you have no other choice, this is what it ends up looking like. They threw people in jail if they didn't cry hard enough when Kim Jong-il died. So there was footage coming out of there. I can't believe he died. Everybody throwing their arms up in the air and going crazy at the funeral, acting like this is the saddest day of their life. And it's just, it's bizarre and it's surreal to watch something like this unfold in the year 2016. And it's happening. And they already had atomic weapons, we knew that, but now they possibly are getting even more powerful weapons, getting a hydrogen bomb. And this is something that, it should unite the world. Just like we spoke about how ISIS is a force that's so horrendous that it actually has the potential to maybe unite the US and Russia if we want to not be stupid, to say, okay, we have a common enemy here, so we can work together. It should unite, the US and even Iran, Shia Muslims. Say, okay, we get it that these guys are the craziest and they're the real problem, so we should all work together against ISIS. It has that potential. It's the same thing with North Korea. They're so crazy, they're so out of their mind, and they're such a problem that if we lived in a sane world, we could have everybody coming together in order to try to tackle this problem. And, I mean, to be fair, on this issue, they kind of are right now, where even Russia and China came out and said, we're against this. This is not a good thing. So we'll see what happens from here. But as of right now, it's a question mark. They may indeed have a hydrogen bomb.